Hello, my name's Peter. I'm going to be sharing a bit about what it's like to stop and smell the roses, look around at the world, and take a moment to change your perspective. So, in tuning in to the more important things about life, one of them being enjoying it, it's a big question of how to stay uplifted in a world where there is suffering. And this is addressed in a number of different ways, in healthy ways by directly being of service to people who need service, is probably the most tried and true way for most people. And beyond that, there are the inner practices of various traditions, and sort of the science of happiness, if you will, the science of being uplifted as a practice of directing energy in the nervous system through the spine up into the brain, and especially the prefrontal cortex. So this is the simplicity of being uplifted is not necessarily romantically or even enjoy. It's simple to say enjoyment is simplified to energy in the spine being directed up to the brain, and that happiness has at least a correlation with the nervous system. That being said, if that were the whole picture and we just left it at that, we would be seeing life only from the level of the interior rather than our actual experience of life. And the actual experience of life, while it may be connected somehow to our own body and our spine, and this energy in our spine and our brain and our central nervous system, and to say that, there's a different way other than just being of service outwardly to the world, that there's also the inward experience of awakening these energy centers in the body, and dynamically charging the body with energy, building the body into a temple, if you will, and that the individual is already a temple, that the body is a temple, that this is something that's spoken of in many traditions. And it was like on Jamba Juice cups for a long time. Your body's a temple. Like, it's such a mainstream thing, and I think with a lot of ideas that have been taken out of context of their original traditions, that when something becomes culturally popular as a meme, while that's potentially a very good thing overall, there's still greater context that perhaps it helps to make your connections to the deeper truths of ideologies through their roots. And a lot of traditions have these different ways of saying the same thing. And as we understand that in the modern world, even through internet gurus and health blogs and everything else that we're creating in the world, that there's a certain culture that's being formed and a certain tradition, whether we know it or not. And of course, it's important to be conscious of what those traditions are and understand what that means in the context of becoming a global society, if that is your wish, to be a part of the larger human civilization or just network of humans, that there is something to be said for material progress of the 20th century, and perhaps the technological progress is trending more towards the digital in the same way that man's consciousness is transcending material consciousness, even through our science like quantum physics. And as we become more aware of, that basic E equals MC squared, all matter, all material things in this 3D world really are energy. What does that mean for our awareness of the world? Does it change it much if we give it thought, if we give it attention? Are we able to see how we can make drastic changes in our life through the awareness of energy? And focusing on that space within you, all this is the process of becoming more connected to yourself, and in understanding something, there's nothing more you can understand about something than what you understand about yourself, or you can only understand something from the level of consciousness that you have reached within yourself. And this is something that is just true for all of us. And at the same time, at the center of our being, each of us has this connection to the infinite. And we are unique in our ability as a species to have an evolved nervous system, to perceive the source of our connection to this infinite. Whatever you wish to call it, religions and spiritual people call it God or source. Some people might just say, oh, there's nothing, or oh, it's math, or oh, this, or oh, that. The sheer largeness of the universe is probably enough to just be humbling about what life is and what we know about it and how long we're here. And it's beautiful to be able to experience it for what it is. And as we connect to those spaces within ourselves that says there is something more to life, what is that? There was an ancient story about when humans were created. There was a treasure that was hidden within us, and all of the ancient spirits were arguing over where to hide the treasure. Should we hide it under the sea? Should we hide it in a mountain? Should we hide it in outer space? And ultimately, the Great Spirit decided to hide it in the place where we would look last, inside of ourselves. So the challenge, of course, of knowing that happiness comes from within, that the outside world is only able to bring us the amount of enjoyment that we are capable of experiencing. So if we wish to experience enjoyment, we have to expand our capacity to enjoy. And this expansion is an active process. It can also just start to happen as a flow of you just continue to expand your ability to enjoy and your ability to maintain a good attitude about life. And as this becomes a practice and a process, it can feel like there's a wave that you're riding, where you have generated this wave of positive energy within yourself, and it feels like it works in harmonic frequencies, where the better you get at this process, the bigger the waves you can ride, the more enjoyment you feel. And this, you could say, is like brain waves, really. That there's a correlation between, say, meditation and the ability to sustain high-level gamma frequencies, which would be like bigger waves than, they are larger waves than the waking consciousness beta or alpha waves. So there is a connection. It's just about being present. And as we sort of simplify this question of how do I be uplifted, how do I focus on maintaining that positive attitude, a big point is to keep your energy flowing. Like, keep allowing yourself whatever brings you joy. Focus on that. Focus on things that you enjoy. There's no question that there's a benefit to the enjoyment of life. And as we understand that there are joys that can be experienced within the self, that there is a deep inner peace and bliss and freedom that one experiences in a meditation, for example, where the consciousness, your consciousness, so to speak, is released from the body and from time and space, and you can focus on whatever you would like to in a way where you're at peace with your thoughts and you are focused on maintaining a positive energy flow in the body. So keeping the heart lifted, bringing your eyes to focus at the point between your eyebrows when you're in your meditation practice, and also having an awareness of this space above the eyes, this forehead area, throughout the day, bringing your awareness there, almost like your prefrontal cortex is a magnet for the energy in your entire body. There are certain practices to bring the energy up the spine, throughout the entire body, bringing the energy up the spine and then into the brain, and allowing this energy to circulate through the brain and have very little to no energy circulating in the body, at least temporarily, or at least nerve energy, and allowing the energy that's normally flowing throughout the entire body to be focused in the brain, to allow the brain to have essentially an energy bath. And an energy bath, of course, sounds very refreshing for the brain. Essentially, if you could shine and sparkle all of your brain cells and allow them to be fully renewed and restored by having a practice of centering and positive focusing of your awareness on gratitude, on what you enjoy, and sort of bringing your enjoyment from life into a practice like meditation can help cultivate more of the things that you're wishing to bring into your life. Of course, if you are working to have abundance or some sort of manifestation, there's certain levels of things that we want, like the Sadhguru says that the child, his number one goal at one point, the 5-year-old just wants a lollipop. So focusing on what are your big goals, how would you like to feel? Joy, empowerment, freedom. What are these spaces of consciousness that you feel within you? And allowing yourself to expand in a way where your spiritual consciousness and your material consciousness, if you will, that your ability to be successful in the world, to expand in material ways, doesn't limit your ability to expand spiritually. And the other way around as well. Like the point being that to be expansive and to expand with our focus on personal development and growing our intuitive perceptions and our heart and our inner qualities, character, and that kind of process is different and deeper in many ways than, say, building a business or having a very high-skilled job. There's certain things that we can relate to and reflect in the world from our schooling or our work. And at the same time, there's a process of inner development that allows us to unlock new spaces within ourselves to be competent in areas of life that we previously may not have even been aware of. And this speaks to the kinds of opportunities that are available to people once there is a greater awakening and understanding of consciousness and energy and the underlying foundation for building a society that has a focus on energy as the primary driver for the material expressions. And of course, at some point, energy is just thoughts or ideas. And to understand that perhaps on some level, this is where the scientific and the spiritual become closer, is that the world essentially is a dream, and the quantum theory essentially says that this is all just a series of smaller or deeper and deeper dimensions of layers of fractals, essentially, that we are much different than whatever we appear to be, from whatever perspective you want to look at it from. And there's a lot of ways of expressing what the goal of is in spirituality, as being somehow connected to being uplifted. I guess we would say that the Buddha said that enlightenment is essentially just letting everything get out of the way of you, being you, and or knowing your essential nature as energy or spirit, that there is these almost like the weights of self-identity and identifying with the things that we are in this world, of course, as being very useful for being a person who has various roles in the world to be of service in those ways, and at the same time to be able to have rest from the idea of identifying with those roles as being the sole expression of one's consciousness, which is perhaps infinite. So, of course, knowing that most people just say this as you are not your job. You, no matter who you are an expression of this infinite consciousness, that somehow the odds of us all being here is amazingly very, very unlikely. So the fact that we get to be here and experience life at all is superb. And it was Lao Tzu who wrote the Tao Te Ching, who says, to live is enough. So perhaps in leaving some finishing thoughts about having our consciousness be uplifted and enjoying life. Keep it simple, man. There's less to philosophy and more to living. So don't worry about that part of it. Focus on the things and practices that work for you. And if you feel called to certain practices like yoga or meditation, make sure you have a good teacher. And say thank you. And tell people I love you when you mean it. Do it often. And hug people more than you may initially feel comfortable doing. Get plenty of sunshine and fresh air. Listen to good music. Relaxing sounds like birds chirping. And help a friend out. Know that everyone is a friend. Forgive everyone, forgive yourself. And keep it flowing. Keep it going. All right. Have a beautiful day. Focus all of your energy, all of your light, and give it to this point, the center point between the eyebrows. I'm going to affirm to yourself, I am a light, I'm a magnet for truth, divine love, and wisdom. I am an infinite source of energy. I am one with myself. May this world be filled with peace and harmony. May this world be filled with peace and harmony. May I be filled with peace and harmony. Thank you. Om, peace. Amen. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Stay blessed. Live your life. Remember to stop and smell the roses.